And welcome to Python for non-programmers. If you're starting from square one, you're in the right place. Now, the great thing about learning Python, which is the most popular programming language in the world, is that you can run it almost anywhere on Windows computers, Mac computers, Linux, and even on the internet in your browser. And for this course, to help us dive in and learn as quickly as possible, we're going to be typing and learning our Python code in the browser. So I'm going to be using the website replit.com, and I'd encourage you to use the same website as me. However, if you'd like to use your own setup, you can go Google Python online, and you'll see lots of different websites that offer the same service of being able to run and test and see Python code in your browser. So follow along with me and use replit.com. Go ahead and create an account and hit the sign up button and join me on the other side. All right, now that you have created an account here in REPL, we need to create a new REPL, which is essentially a new file to test out our Python code. So the website will likely change over time, but you can see over here on the left, I have create REPL, and also in the top right, we have a plus button to create a new REPL. So however you need to create a new REPL, then we need to select Python as our programming language, and then give a title to our REPL. Again, we should have a new REPL for each different video in this course, for each concept that we're learning. So let's go ahead and name this video First Line of Code. Okay? Hit the Create REPL button, and in a second here, REPL will get our environment set up for us. Again, this is the place we'll be able to type out and see the results of our Python code. So here, where we have main.py, this is our Python file. Python files have the .py extension. Let's go ahead and type our very first line of Python code. So I'm going to type in all lowercase, print, and then do an open and close parentheses. You'll notice by just doing the opening one, REPL is smart enough to create the ending one. It's a nice little thing for us there. Then we're going to add some double quotes and then type inside of here, hello world. It's typical when learning a new programming language to get the term hello world to display for your very first thing that you do in the language, just to make sure that you have the beginnings working. So once we have that there, we're going to hit this run button up top, and we should see over here on this black box over here, which is called the console, the term hello world. And if we type something over here, like hello Nick, we should also see that go in the black box once we hit the run button. So I hit the run button, we now see hello Nick. Awesome. You have your very first line of Python code. Give yourself a pat on the back. Now, a few housekeeping tips here with REPL. If you want to change the font or the color of things inside of your browser, you can come over here to the settings icon and change things like the font size, and you can also change the color and how things look. So if you want to customize anything, this is the place to do it. So with that in place, let's go ahead and move on to learning our very first concepts in Python. Environment all set up here. It's time to learn the absolute fundamental building block of Python, and that is variables. So because we're learning a new concept, we should create a new REPL. So let's go ahead and click on the REPL logo here to get back to the dashboard or homepage, and let's now create a new REPL. So again, we need to make sure that we have Python selected, and because we're going to be learning about variables, I'm going to name this variables. Now, what are variables? Variables simply just hold a piece of information that can change over time. It's really just that simple. They can hold numbers, they can hold text, and as we get further in this course, you'll learn that they hold other types like Booleans. So just to start out here, let's go through an example of, let's say we want to create a variable that represents how much money we have in our wallet. Now, shocker, as of recording this video, I took a look in my wallet. I have $41 in there. So not a ton, not too shabby either. But if we wanted to represent this amount of money in my wallet, We would do that in Python by first giving a name to our variable, which I'm just simply going to call wallet. Okay, this is now the name of our variable. Now, I said that variables hold a piece of information. How do we put some information into this new variable called wallet? Well, we have the name, and then we hit space, do an equal sign, another space, and then put in some sort of value. So for me, because I have $41, I'm going to say wallet is equal to 41. Essentially what's happening here is we're taking the value of 41 and putting it into the variable called wallet. And now that we have this code, you're saying, great, let's go ahead and run this and see what it looks like. So hit this run button here, and you'll notice on the console, nothing shows up. And the reason for this is that in Python, even if you create a variable and put some information in it, you will not see any of that information on the console until you print to the console. Now, I know the word print typically means that you're going to put some ink on some paper, but in the programming world, and specifically with Python, whenever you print something, you're just getting some information to show up on the console. So let's go ahead and create a few new lines after the term where we create wallet and set it equal to 41. Let's type all lowercase print, just like we did last video, and put some open and close parentheses. But now, instead of putting the words like hello world or hello Nick inside of there, let's put the word wallet, that variable that we just created. So I'm going to say print with parentheses wallet. And now let's go ahead and hit the run button and see what we get. And now you can see that the number 41 appears. So if we ever want to check what a variable is holding, what piece of information it is, be it numbers, text, whatever, we have to print out that information to the console. So now that we have this down, I'd like to share a tip with Python. You'll notice that I put a blank space between line 1 and 3, where first we created the variable and then we printed out the information inside of the variable. Why did I do that? For me, just stylistically, I like to have a little space. And in Python, you can have as many or as little spaces in between your lines of code. This will still run completely fine, as well as this. They're all the same. So if you just like to have space in your code, you can use as much or as little as you'd like. Now, one more thing with variables is that the value that they're holding can change over time. So let's say with our wallet, I went and bought some pizza. And so now my wallet only has, let's say, $32 inside of it. I can update the value of the variable. I can say wallet is now equal to 32. Previously, it was equal to 41, but because I've spent some money, I now only have 32. And if we want to see what the value of this is, again, we're going to have to do a print to see the new value of wallet. So let's go ahead and hit the run button. And you'll notice in the console, when we first printed, wallet was equal to 41, and now it's equal to 32. So variables hold a piece of information and they can change over time. Now, to really cement this concept and make sure that you've got a good grasp on it, I'm going to introduce a challenge. And for the rest of this course, after we learn a concept, I'm going to have a little challenge for you. And I really want you, whenever I present you a challenge and I tell you to pause the video and try it out on your own. It's really going to help your learning and make sure that you're understanding what I'm saying and you're not just listening and following exactly what I'm doing. So the challenge that I have for you is I want you to make a variable called day and set it equal to the date of the month. So whether it's the 13th, the 15th, the 4th, whatever, make that variable day and set it equal to the date of the month. So hit pause and go do that on your own now. Okay, hopefully that went well for you. For me, at the time of recording, day is equal to the 21st. So I said day is equal to 21.